A pleasant Friday to you. Welcome to another beautiful evening here at Lone Star Park in Grand Prairie, mid-November. One of my sister's birthdays, November 15th, always a good day, and what a beautiful weather. I noticed the difference, though, as I'm Jim Byers, joined by Rodney Nelson, between the start of the night in the fall and the end, because I just walk in wearing my polo shirt, and on the way out, it was chilly.
It's a little chilly sometimes, but you know what? This whole meet, I've been able to go through out in the paddock without a jacket all meet, so I'm hoping that's going to continue. I mean, beautiful weather last night.
Yeah.
Tonight and tomorrow is supposed to be the exact same, so it's going to be a fun way to end the 2024 Fall Meeting of Champions, no doubt about it.
Really good card tonight. A lot of good races. Two really interesting Arabian races. We're going to see one of the best Arabians, two of the best Arabians in recent years. And then tomorrow, of course, Texas Classic Futurity Night. The Purina feeds Oaks. The Texas Classic Derby, the Refrigerator. Boy, I think the Refrigerator came up really strong.
Yeah, we get to see the sports all-time leading money earner, KJ Desperado again tomorrow out here on the track, plus the future. Yeah, what a great weekend this is to end it.
And, maybe, he's a huge superstar. Maybe there isn't a name like a Hot Stepper or and this isn't being fair to KJ, but the field is so good tomorrow in the Refrigerator, I think, from a balance standpoint. And, it's just such a good race. I can't wait. KJ Desperado could come out here and run the lights out, but I haven't picked third, so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, there is some contention in that race, no doubt.
He loves this track.
That's the one He's a Jet 1's in, right?
Yeah. And He's a Jet 1.
We've seen that horse out here boogieing down the track a couple times this year.
I picked him with my heart, I think, second, because I couldn't quite get him into the top spot, but he's going to be coming at him. He's so good. There's a bunch of them. Let's get on to tonight because we have a lot to cover. Track fast. A lot of scratches, so we'll pass them along to you. Race 1 scratched the 2 and 3. The 2 was the morning line favorite and my original top choice. These are 350 yards. We're not starting with an 870 race like we frequently do. All but the 8 are in for a claiming tag here. These are a starter optional claimer.
Yeah, I'm taking a swing with a big one here. Number 7, Drinks After Work. 20-1 on that morning line for Drinks After Work. We'll see that this horse was in a lot of stakes races. If you look back, this horse ran in 3 stakes back-to-back earlier this year. Ran 4th in the 550 at Sam Houston. Ran 3rd in the 550 at Retama Park. Came out here, ran to the B.F. Phillips Jr. Stakes. Finished 7th in that one, but look at that field. He's a Jet 1. Dollar Bill were right there, the top 2.
I think they're both. I think Dollar Bill's in a big race tomorrow.
Dollar Bill is in a big.
If not the Refrigerator, in a big one.
Yeah, so it's those two horses pretty solid right there. Now, Drinks After Work, what I like about this horse is, you see, he had those 3 550 stakes races, or 2 of those 550 stakes races. The last 2 were at 400, so the horse is cutting back to 350 tonight. I'm hoping this horse is going to show some speed coming out of that gate, running that shorter distance. If so, I think Drinks After Work might take this opener at a pretty big price. I got the favorite, Old Grand Webb, second, coming in here off a win last time out. There's nothing wrong with that. And then I got the 4 after that, Eric's First Wagon, as my third choice. This horse was a winner in the claiming race, 2 starts back. Finished 3rd in the starter optional claiming last time, missing by a length. This horse has been up there toward the front, does have a win at 350 yards as well. Hit the board in half his starts at that one. But I'm swinging for the fences in the first. Give me a long shot here to open it up.
I think that's a good idea in that you got Palmero Fantasy, who I thought was a pretty good stick out. Now he's gone. Kind of sometimes throws races wide open. Old Grand Webb's going to take a ton of money. Comes out of a nice win last time. Comes from the top barn statistically, although John Steinbow is, if he has a good weekend, could surpass Juan Diaz, depending on how Juan does. Might as well take a swing. I used Valentine's Miss Gal. I didn't take quite as big a swing with my long shot as you did with yours, but I like Valentine's Miss Gal. Ali Rivera picks up the mount. Horse was horribly overmatched. Well, not horribly, but overmatched big time last time. Gets back in with her friends, shortens back up to a more comfortable distance, and she has a little bit of speed. I think Valentine's Miss Gal from the inside could run well. Race 2. 220 yards, $7,500 non-winners of 2 claimers, 2 scratches here. The 4, Tell 'em I'm Wild. The 12, JLC, Mr. Little Picoso.
All right, so I'll take number 3, RB Little Speedy. 8-1 on the morning line for RB Little Speedy. We see this horse has been running in a bunch of $5,000 claiming races, maiden claiming races. Until that last one, I mean, this horse picked up a win, was close 2 starts back, both of them coming at 220 yards right here at Lone Star Park. This horse can get out of the gate well, can show some speed early on. Very important in one of these short races. Give me the 3, RB Little Speedy on top of number 7, Valiant Regard, my second choice here. Went 220 last time out in for the $10,000 tag. Ran 4th in that one, missed by 3/4 of a length to a horse that was a next out winner as well. You look 3 starts back, this horse was in for $20,000. Ran a good 3rd in that one, missing by a head. Now, that was a lot longer than this one, 110 yards longer, but I think Valiant Regard can have a good race. Give it to me 3-7 here in race number 2.
Yeah, I took Valiant Regard on top. The horse that beat him last time, TTT Rare Chick, over the past weekend won a 3rd straight race here this meet.
Yeah, that was the 110-yarder we had last week, right?
Yeah, I think that TTT Rare Chick just broke out of there and just fired. This horse, I like the last race that he provided. Now, it was over a month ago on October 4th, but was sharp at this level. They've all just won the one race. Some have records that look a little ugly. So I just like to go with hot horses that come in sharp for barns that can win. So I'm going to take Valiant Regard. I hope I can get that 7-2 price. And then Runnin' Legend is a second pick. Ansi in the gate, I think he can toss that last race. He was in a little tough that time. But back against these types, he's good. La Chinita Game, very quick. You talked about her. And RB Little Speedy is, one of those that comes out of 2 good races in a row. And like I said, at this level, sometimes that's the best way to go. If you belabor these non-winners of 2, the form too much, I think it confuses me. Race 3, 3 to 5-year-old maidens, 400 yards, scratch the 2 also eligibles. Zoom He's a Gone was my top pick if he had gotten in, but he didn't.
He was mine too.
Yeah.
But I ended up on number 9, JTC Sunset's Fool here. So what I like about this horse has had 3 starts. So one of them came last November right out here at Lone Star Park. That was the debut for this gelding. Finished 3rd in that race, beaten by half a length. Got back to the track right here at Lone Star Park on the 28th of September in a maiden race. Ran 6th in that one, but hey, it was the first time this horse had been back in like 10 months. That second start turned out to be a pretty good one after that layoff, missing by half a length in that one. I'm hoping JTC Sunset's Fool is ready to go tonight and can pick up the win. I got number 3, Electric, as my second choice. This horse is coming in here off a solid second-place finish last time out, missing by 3/4 of a length at 330 yards. That was the only time this horse has been out on our track, but it was a pretty good race. If you look at the comments, it says off slow, late surge.
Yeah.
Especially at 400 yards, I'd like to see another late surge from this horse going down the racetrack, but Electric might get up there at some decent odds. And then number 7, Candy Scheme, that's going to be my third choice. This horse has been off the track since last year. I mean, hadn't run since the 1st of September of last year. But 2 of those 3 races last year were pretty good up at Remington Park, and we know early in the year there's some really good horses up at Remington in those races. But we'll see what happens with this horse coming back off that layoff. I think I'll take a shot on this one at 8-1 with that morning line. I got a 9-3-7 in race 3.
That's Rick Lee's long shot winner of the day. And
he hit yesterday on that one, I think, or his best bet of the day.
Yeah, he hit with a couple of those bold faces. And 2 days ago, he hit with that long shot, or was it last week? He hit with that long shot in the first race that he didn't even bold face. That's like taunting. Pick a 14-1 shot, and who doesn't even get bet much, and you don't bold face it as your long shot play of the day. That's just taunting. But nonetheless, Rick can do that. He's good enough to. Candy Scheme has just been off a little too long for my taste. I didn't include him in there, although his past form does indicate he could definitely go with these. I took IQ, the 4 horse, first time Lasix. This filly comes out of a race where, she stumbled at the start, got out last, made up a little bit of ground, beat half the field. It was a filly in mare field. She's back with all comers today. Her form has been mediocre at best. I just think maybe, I don't know, maybe the post position, the first time Lasix, and I don't really dig anybody else necessarily in here. So I took IQ over Electric, who does have a work on November 12th. Doesn't make it in the program. It's too recent. We'll announce that, but it was 2:20 and 13:03 breezing. And Electric comes off a really good race. I kind of wish I almost picked her on top. Race 4, the Irving Distaff. How come they never have a race named after Kaufman? I've been noticing.
Well, we might be
need
able to make
lobby
that happen
Bart
next
for that.
year.
Yeah. Good race. Optional claimer here. Fillies and Mares at 3:30. Scratch the 11.
I went with number 10, Designer Jeans here. So coming from the outside, we see this horse was running in some trial races, was in one for the Texas Classic Derby last time out. This horse has finished fourth a lot in those last 3 races, 2 of those being Derby trials, one at Sam Houston, one here. Went in an allowance race at the Downs at Albuquerque, ran fourth in that one as well. But before that, this horse was in the Remington Park Oaks earlier this year. Ended up running 7th in that one, but still that was a pretty big race. I don't know. I just have a feeling about Designer Jeans here. You're talking about John Steinbo maybe making a run for that trainer title. Yeah. I think Designer Jeans might put him one more in the win column. I got number 8, Praying and Dashing, as my second choice here. This horse was out in Albuquerque last time for the Challenge Championships. Ran 6th in his race out there, or in her race out there. A second before that at Will Rogers to qualify to go out to the Challenge night. But this horse has had some on-the-board finishes this year, 5 out of 7 as a matter of fact. Does have a win in her lifetime. Has a second and a third out of 2 tries at this 330-yard distance. I think Praying and Dashing might be one to watch here. And then I got the 2, Shelby, as my third choice. I love Shelby. 2 starts back, this horse ran 4th in the Gillespie County Fair Derby. Missed by a length in that one. There was 2 next out winners in that field. The 2 races before, just missing by a length in both of those races. Both of them Derby trials, one at Retama, one there at Gillespie. 10-1 on Shelby may not be a bad play to, finish up some of those exotic wagers. I got 10, 8, and 2 here in race number 4.
This is a good race. The morning line is 5-2. That's, kind of a lukewarmish favorite for Praying and Dashing. She scratched yesterday to go in here, or at least was an also eligible. I don't remember which. A lot of contention. I took a horse that's not in your picks, the 9 Easy Jet and Gal for Toby Keaton. She just comes out of such good races. 2 races ago, she caught A.J. Brazilian Gift, who's a bit of a frustrating filly. The one good race A.J. Brazilian Gift ran here earlier in the meet, she looked like a graded stakes winner, and then she didn't follow it up. But Asher, who was the second qualifier for the Purina Feeds Texas Classic Oaks tomorrow.
Dash for Cash Derby winner, though.
Yeah. And, co-winner of the Dash for Cash Derby, Famous Tools, horses like that she ran into last time. Wasn't disgraced, only beaten 2 1/4 lengths. And this is a nice field, but, there's no Ashers in here. I just think it's all systems go for this daughter of EC Jet 1. Designer Jeans comes out of that goofy trial that I've mentioned all the time for the Oaks that had a unfortunate issue at the start, but so I throw all those races out, but her other races have been quite good. So I think she could run really well for Steinbo. And, Praying and Dashing has the stakes history. I worked up at Will Rogers and called a couple of her races, and honestly, I didn't remember her too well. So that's why I didn't have her quite as high in the picks, because she didn't make much of an impression.
Didn't stand out for you.
No, not really. Race 5. Not that really means anything. This is an interesting condition. All they have to do, it's 110-yard races, to have started for a tag this year. Any kind of a claiming tag, from 5,000 to 100 if we ran them. Scratch the 2, Little 7. Scratch the 12, Relentless Snowdrop in race 5.
Well, I'm taking number 10, Wagon High. This one started for a $15,000 claiming prize, 2 starts back, and won that race. Not bad at all there. Won that race by half a length. That was down at Retama Park at 300 yards. Now, we see this horse did run a 110-yarder back at Louisiana Downs on Valentine's Day. Yep. Won that race by a neck. So the horse does have a win at this short distance. Has run well out here at Lone Star Park, finishing in the money in 3 of 4. A couple wins this year, including that 1 2 starts back. We'll see if Wagon High can break out of that gate nice today. Then I got the 8, Eccentric, as my second choice. You look back to the races in New Mexico earlier this year, and you see some that that Eccentric was able to get out of the gate well and stay up there toward the front most of the way down the racetrack. Those were a lot longer than this race right here, but even in the most recent one, went in an allowance race at 250, which is beaten by 3/4 of a length in that one. I think Eccentric could have a good run. And then I got Revenant Babe, number 1, as my third choice, coming in here fresh off a win. Hot connections, right? I mean, it seems everything Eddie Willis and Osiel Soto ride. I mean, they were a winner last night, I think. They combined for one. In very limited starts out here this season, but high winning percentage for these guys. I think this horse could get up there in the top 3.
Yeah, Revenant Babe is my 4th pick. I thought her last race was outstanding because she broke outward but really fired and was very impressive on October 19th. It's just the fact that it's a 110 race, and the thing that worries me about the number 1 filly in here is she just doesn't generally break that well. She finishes well on the end of the race. So I went with the 4, JJ Fun and Jess. Kind of a fair to Midland breaker. Comes from the Steinbow barn. Exits a race where she was only beaten 3 parts of a length. Was forwardly placed against, I think, competition that could go with these. I don't worry too much about the class level in these 110 races because it's more about just agility and speed and whatnot. But she seems geared for speed. I like the connections. I like being drawn in these 110 races somewhere in the middle, although Wagon High could definitely win this race, and it has a recent work that I love too. So I'm going to try 4-10-3. BV Big Bucks comes out of a race where Miss Eden Sue lowered the track record for 250 yards. We've been on a bit of a track record pace lately, so I would say tomorrow there's a chance one of those big winners could set a track record. But that was a really fast race BV Big Bucks comes out of. So I went 4-10-3.
I was going to say, you think FDD Dreams can lower her own track record or lower his own track record tomorrow? That'd be pretty exciting.
Race 6, College Station Dash. I won't even bring up the fact that you don't like Texas A&M. 550 yards, 3-year-olds and up here. This is one of these total earnings last year or this year preferred, meaning basically anyone come and enter, and if you have the most earnings, you're going to have preference. Scratch the 11 and 12.
Yeah, I went with the 3, DM Moon Pie. We've seen this horse out at Lone Star Park 11 different times in his career, has yet to pick up a win. So kind of taking a shot here on DM Moon Pie, a horse that's 9-5 on the morning line. Just hadn't been able to pull out that success here. But this horse has been running in some big races out here at Lone Star Park and everywhere else, too. We see earlier this year, DM Moon Pie ran second at Sam Houston in a Grade 2 race down there, missing by a neck. Followed that back up with a stakes win at Sam Houston. Went in the TQHA Classic, another Grade 2 race, finishing second by a head in that one. So, I mean, this horse is always up there toward the front, it seems like. Last time out was in the B.F. Phillips Jr. Stakes. Got caught in that same race, but he's a Jet 1 and Dollar Bill. It's hard to overtake those 2 horses. But I'm hoping that DM Moonpie can notch that first victory out here at Lone Star Park tonight. Give me the 3 on top of number 6, Runaway Wildfire. This horse was a winner last time out. I love horses that come in off of wins. Even the race before that allowance race, was a pretty solid 4th place finish, missing by 3/4 of a length. Horse had trouble in both of those races, but even dating back to last year, we saw Runaway Wildfire ran in the Evangeline Derby. I mean, so this horse is definitely fast enough to run with some of the best. That win last time out came at this 550-yard distance, so it's a lot to like about the 6 as well. I got it 3-6 here in race number 6.
I went ahead and took Runaway Wildfire. I really liked the race that he comes out of on October 26th with Power of Faith, who ran second in that race. Power of Faith showed great speed from the inside, now draws outside. I don't know what, if any, difference that makes. But Power of Faith tried to open up on him early, got caught. Runaway Wildfire in his first try at 550 was outstanding. I'm going to tab him right back. Although I took Power of Faith third, I did slide DM Moonpie up into the second just because he keeps such fast company. Race 7 begins the pick 6, 1,400 plus in the carryover. Race 7, very good group. Number 8, Believe in Perry, is one of the scratches here. That makes it more of a 2-horse field in my view, and I have a horse I love in here, but 3-year-olds, 400 yards, scratch the 4, the 6, and the 8. Yeah,
I with the scratch of Believe in Perry, I mean, Flying Rabbit 1, 2, 3. I don't want to say a lock, but I think this horse has a very, very good chance here in race number 7.
You talk about a horse in good form.
Yeah, the horse is definitely in good form. I mean, this horse is a stakes winner, multiple stakes winner. Won the Ruidoso Invitational back in June. Was in the All-American Invitational, ran second in that one, just missing about 3/4 of a length. Won his All-American trial. Last time out, just missed it by a head in one of the trials for the Texas Classic. I think there's a lot to like about Flying Rabbit 1, 2, 3. Then I got Cardiac second. I mean, this is a horse that comes in here off of back-to-back stakes races. Was a winner 3 starts back at Delta Downs. Trained by Juan Diaz. You always got to give some respect to those horses that he sends out here in these good races. I got it 3-5 here in race number 7.
This is the first time all night, I believe, we have the same horse on top. And Flying Rabbit 1, 2, 3's last race was just so incredibly impressive. Fire Cowboy in that trial wound up making the Texas Classic Derby. Just made it, 10th fastest, but ran a tremendous race. And, I wrote down some comments to remind myself of the race, and I won't share them because it's a family show. But his start was suboptimal, and then he ran a tremendous race. He diddled around at the start last time and yet fired hard, so I think he is going to be very tough to beat. Race 8. Grade 2 Texas Arabian Stallion Stakes, fillies and mares. Big field in here, no scratches. It's going to be fun to watch RB Malexis, who we've seen since the beginning of her career, and she just towers over this bunch.
Yeah, towers over the overall. RB Malexis, my top choice, comes in here off a win in the Texas Arabian Oaks. That's a grade 3 that was at Retama. Came at this 1 mile distance. The horse has 3 wins from 4 starts out here at Lone Star Park. A couple wins from 3 tries at the 1 mile distance. Horse has never finished off the board. Ever since RB Malexis started running out here at Lone Star last year, I like this horse. This one, and what is it? Her sister.
RB Mary Lila.
We'll see later on tonight.
Yeah.
But I think that's all I need right here is RB Malexis here in race number 8.
Yeah, I mean, we don't need to dwell on the others because we are getting a little short on time. But RB Malexis comes off the bench, has been away, 3 months, September, October, 3 months, but I don't think that's going to matter a whole lot. And, her sister coming up later, RB Mary Lila. Boy, that's going to be an interesting race to talk about and to see as well. But Dream's Sake looks like a pretty obvious second
choice,
there.
yeah.
Race 9. 9th race, 2-year-old, non-winners of 2. 350 yards the distance. In this one, scratch the 9. Eye-opener Spit and scratch the 2 alsos.
I went with number 7, Bowtie, another one of these Juan Diaz horses that I like here. This horse has run in trial races, a lot of futurity trial races. The very first race of Bowtie's career was against Maidens at Remington Park. Went out there and won that race by a length and a half. Since then, went into all those trial races. The last 2 of them have been pretty decent. The one for the Texas Classic finished 3rd in that one, missed by a neck. The one before that, for the Dash for Cats, also a 3rd-place finisher, missing by a length in that one. Give me Bowtie here in race number 9 over 2, Corona in Fire.
Yeah, I mean, Bowtie, he comes out of a race on October. They come out of the same race. I don't know if you mentioned that, and I
did not.
Missed it. But and I think that he had a much better trip than the 2. The 2 had a slow break, in my opinion, lost the chance at the start. Now, horses that have issues at the start sometimes can repeat that, so it's an advantage to Bowtie that he did have a clean trip last time. But they both ran well. Corona and Fire was more heavily favored at 6-5. I'm going to go back to him just based on the fact that his 2 previous races against Kiss My Maruska were good tries, especially the one in the trials for the Dash for Cash. It's a really close call for me, but I took it 2-7-4. Texas Temper is intriguing for me today, second off a layoff, because he was really highly regarded back in the summer in some races elsewhere in Texas. Race 10. This is a good one, $105,000 added Texas Arabian Stallion Classic Stakes. 1 mile, scratch the 2, Jagman AA, scratch the 13, WMA Atlas. So a big field of 12 in here. And we got a showdown here between Diamond Gem AA, who's a 5-year-old, his stablemate RB Mary Lila, a 4-year-old filly, against the 5-year-old gelding. They've never met. Their records are unbelievable. I mean, they're terrific, Arabians.
Yeah, what a fun race for the Arabians.
Yeah.
A large field going a mile, $105,000 the purse for this one. And you know what? I've got the Jared Ernesto Torres trifecta here in this one. I got number 5, RB Mary Lila on top.
Yeah.
RB Mary Lila, 4 for 4 right here at Lone Star Park. 2 wins at the 1 mile distance. I mean, this horse has only lost 1 race before it, and that one second place finish for RB Mary Lila was against her sister too. So,
yeah.
And I think that was in the first race of their career down in the stakes at Retama
I think it
Park.
was, yeah.
Yeah, so RB Mary Lila, since then, I mean, this horse has been rocking and rolling. In that Texas Arabian Derby last time out, this horse was in, won that race by 11.5, was 5.5 in front in the Texas Yellow Rose down at Sam Houston. Now, that was on the turf. But, I mean, this horse has been winner in all kinds of stakes races. Give me the 5 on top. Number 1, Diamond Jim AA, my second choice. You know, this horse was off for a while, for over a year, but the races back in 23 were good. We saw this horse win a lot. Since getting back to the track in 24, this horse was a winner at the 7 furlong distance back at Retama Park, but won that race by 4 1/4. I like Diamond Jim AA here. And then I got the 7, RB Motherlode as my third choice. 2 starts back, this horse was a winner, was the runner-up to RB Mary Lila last time out in that Texas Arabian Derby. Give me the 3 horses for Jared Ernesto Torres here in this Texas Arabian Stallion Classic Stakes. 5, 1, and 7 is how I see it.
I see it the same way. I mean, RB Mary Lila maybe not able to beat Diamond Gem AA in his prime, and I'm not saying he's past his prime, but he went to Abu Dhabi, I believe, and France, and raced over there. Thanks to Jonathan Horowitz for passing along that tidbit that he raced overseas for a while and just kind of didn't prosper like he did in the States. Now he's back over here. Maybe on their respective best days, I might go the other way, but I'm going with RB Mary Lila. I mean, how can you knock a horse that, you know, runs second in the debut and then wins 8 straight, you know, and just she trains faster than he does, but he's a little bit speedier, I think, early in races. Although there's nothing slow about RB Mary Lila early in races either, but I just think she's going to love the distance, so I'm going to give her a slight edge. But it'll be a great showdown between those two. Their first time they've met. Race 11. Texas-bred 2-year-olds in the Turkey Time Stakes, 30,000 guaranteed. Scratch the 1. This Eagle's armed. Scratch the 6. The 7, Kiss My Maruska, unfortunately out. The 9, Marvelous, and the 11, Frazier.
Yeah, so I went with Juice Box. You know, I really wanted to see Kiss My Maruska here, but since the horse scratched, you get to take Juice Box. Was not a bad consolation.
Exactly.
A horse to scratch into, right? This horse was third in the Dash for Cash Futurity, finishing behind Kiss My Maruska by half a length. Before that, I mean, this horse wheeled off back-to-back wins, including the TQHA Sales Futurity, that restricted Grade 1 down at Retama Park. Definitely a nice horse. We saw this horse in the Heritage Place Futurity earlier this year, running 4th in that one. Give me Juice Box on top. Number 4, Ember's Time is going to be my second choice here. This is the winner for the Dash for Cash Juvenile. Definitely a solid horse. And then I got number 6. Oh, don't have number 6 anymore. We said the 6 was a scratch, right?
Oh, yeah.
10-4.
Okay, so scratch.
That's how I got
6.
number 11 now.
Okay.
10-4.
You know, Ember's Time is a really nice filly. But she's in, I mean, I don't mean to disrespect the other horses in here, but it kind of looks like a two-way showdown between those two. You got the 2 Indiana shippers coming in for Delbert McDowell. They're both intriguing. I just don't know if they faced anything the likes of Juice Box. I mean, or even Ember's Time, you know, who made the TQHA Sale Juvenile and then won the Dash for Cash Juvenile. Juice Box is a legitimately top-notch horse. I mean, he gets a little overlooked in his own barn, much like, you know, some of those great 3-year-olds get overlooked in Toby Keaton's barn. But Juice Box is I mean, he's got nothing to knock himself for. I mean, he made the Heritage Place. He won the Texas, as you mentioned, TQHA Sale Futurity. He's a solid third. The one thing about Kiss My Maruska, had he gone, that was going to be interesting was he's specialized in late rallies, and would 350 have been a little short for him? You know, he seems to be flourishing at 400.
Yeah, that's one thing about Kiss My Maruska. That horse can kick it in the
Oh,
last
my God.
40 yards or so. Just go.
And he might have been able to kick it in at 350. I think he probably could, but on to the 12th. This is what I call the battle of the bad breakers, because at least all of my top picks have had issues in recent, if not their most recent races at the start. 2-year-olds, 440, scratch the 11 and 12.
Yeah, I took number 3, Whiskey Cowboy. 4 starts for this horse. 3 of them were in futurity trials. In those futurity trials, the horse was well beaten in all of those. The closest one of those trials was 3 1/4 behind the winner. But if you look at that very first race, it was a good one against Maidens. Just missed by half a length in that one. Drops down in here to face Maidens again in one of these races. So I'll take Whiskey Cowboy on top. Number 7, Monte Cristo. That's going to be my second choice here. And then I got number 9, Valiant Spit Curl, as my third pick here in the nightcap.
I'm a Whiskey Cowboy fan. I just hope, I just worry a little bit about the breaks. Now, 2 races ago, Luis Martinez did one of the most amazing things athletically you'll ever see. If you watch that replay, his horse clipped heels, and he did a trick riding, midair, miraculous save to avoid going down to the racetrack, because his horse clipped heels bad. And then he came back last time, and the horse reared at the break and lost all chance. So if he runs back to those races in New Mexico, I think he can win. Macho First Prize, sluggish start last time, has been a long shot in his 3 futurity trials at 3 different tracks. Now she drops into a maiden race. So I think Wes Giles' Macho First Prize could be really tough here. And then Monte Cristo is going to be one of those that's always in it. And had a little start trouble last time. Hasn't faced the trial types, but has run reasonably well in every race. So there's some good ones in here to wrap it up. Carryover 37-6 and change in that super high 5 in the last. Okay, we are out of time. 25 minutes to post. About to be 25 minutes to post for the first. Rodney will have his previews. Good luck tonight. We have a lot of different picks, which means competitive racing.
Yeah. Very good race card tonight.
And good luck on your selections on this Friday. I don't know, possibly.